Hi lovely people, thank you for tuning into my channel again. So today I'm going to be talking about dysfunctional families, family breakdowns, kind of what I think causes them in my humble opinion. Please keep watching, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe on the video. I'm really close to 400 subscribers, so if you can make that happen guys, click that sub button. Oh, and notifications as well.
This is my channel, a platform I'm using to document and create moments that matter to me. Whether I'm telling people they're mad and have no one to tell them, sharing my personal life lessons, venturing around the world with my friends, laughing, having insightful conversation. Oh, and don't forget to be face.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Actually, to be honest, this isn't actually mess, it's just my wardrobe's broken, so you know, let's go. It's been a while since I've done a sit down video. I think I want to actually, it's loud isn't it, hold on. Okay, we go again. It's been a hot second since I did a sit down video, so I thought I would do one, but I didn't want to do something like just boring and with no intention. So it's going to be a get ready with me, but as I'm getting ready, I'm going to be discussing family breakdowns, dysfunctional families, that kind of stuff. I was inspired to do something like this because there's an influencer, blogger, hairstylist called Hair by Makai, or Makai McDermott, I think. Makai on YouTube. I'll link her channel down below. But I really like the format of informative videos that she does because she actually addresses conversations that often, especially like in a black household or in the black community, aren't really discussed. So I thought I would come with something kind of in a similar format in a way. So shout out to you for inspiring this video. On my Instagram, actually let me rewind. So when I was in Uganda, if you don't know, I have vlogs out, shameless plug, go check that out. But anyways, as I was in Uganda, there was a lot of family dysfunction, a lot of family issues that as a result of not being addressed, as a result of lack of communication, lack of understanding, there was a lot of kind of tension, a lot of rifts, a lot of opinions, a lot of just things that could easily be avoided but haven't been. So it really got me thinking about family dysfunction and dysfunctional families. So on my Instagram, focus, that is my Instagram there, I created a story and I asked a question on the story, and the question was, that's the wrong bloody thing, and the question was, what problems do you think contribute to family breakdown and dysfunction, right? And people posted a lot of really interesting answers actually. So I thought what I would do is I would kind of go a little bit deeper into my thoughts on that. And I hope that it can help somebody, because there ain't no such thing as a perfect family. This idea of the nuclear family, the mom, the dad, the kids and everyone just getting along kumbaya, that's not really happening as it should be. And not just that, even single parent families, stuff like that. Like, all families deserve, you know, peace and harmony irrespective of how it's set up. So I thought it would be something really good to address because it's a relationship and it's a structure that actually, it shapes our lives in different ways even if we choose to ignore it. When I initially thought of this topic, I kind of listed a couple things that I think contribute to it and a couple things like subtopics that I kind of think should be addressed in the whole topic of family breakdown and dysfunctions. So I put emotional baggage, lack of communication, judgment, lack of transparency, lack of honesty, defensiveness, dismissiveness, sweeping things under the rug, lack of guidance and role models, lack of relatability, and the lack of relationships in families. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to address those things first and kind of why I thought of those things, and then after that I will also address the other things that people on my friends and people that on my Instagram also thought contributed to family breakdown, and also my thoughts on their thoughts if that makes sense. So stay with me, it's gonna definitely be a talky video, so if you are watching this video, make sure you have time to really take it in, or just challenge your view a little bit on families and maybe give a different perspective and offer a different view in terms of the reason why there could be family dysfunction and things like that, because I really think that we all go through it, and I think that's why a lot of people actually go to therapy, because all these things usually start at home. So yeah, let's attack the home base. In terms of emotional baggage, why I thought that contributed to family breakdown and dysfunction, you know, with families, especially when you're younger, in your head, when you see adults, you see them as people that, you know, they have their life together, you know, obviously they're the ones that are raising you, so there's that level of like respect or level of like looking up to a person. So naturally you think, you know, they're adults, they have it all together. But you know, it's interesting because I think a lot of adults especially, I think they carry a lot of emotional baggage from their lives, and sometimes they can make coping mechanisms, and they can deal with things in a way that's not conducive to the family being healthy. And they never deal with the emotional baggage that, you know, happens in natural life, because we all go through things. But I think the problem lies when everything is either swept under the rug, or it's taken out on the kids, or it's taken out on the partners, it's taken out on other family members. Because imagine harboring all that baggage. You know, that baggage has to be left somewhere at the end of the day. So either it's going to be harbored inside a person, and then they're going to become bitter, and they're going to become, you know, not the person they used to be, or it's going to be handed over to the rest of the family members and to other people in the family for them to deal with. And it can come out in so many different ways. Another thing as well, which I think is the biggest thing, is lack of communication. You know, I think especially with families, there's this unspoken expectation almost that because somebody is your mum or your dad or your brother or your sister or your cousin or your auntie or your uncle, whoever they are in your family, that they should understand you, and like they should understand what makes you tick, they should understand like what hurts you, and if you've been hurt, or if you feel disappointed, or if you feel any type of way, that they should recognize that, and maybe they should apologize, or they should rectify it. But then the thing is, because you've never communicated to someone in the first place, how are they supposed to know that? How are they supposed to understand your boundaries? How are they supposed to understand, you know, what makes you tick? How are they supposed to understand when they've gone too far if you never address something, and you just like react maybe in a defensive way, or you just ignore them, or you just sweep it under the rug? All those kind of things, that breakdown of communication, of like speaking up, it's a problem. And also I find that especially, I'm gonna speak for like obviously something that maybe I can relate to, so I feel like I can generalize, like with a lot of African households, because of this whole thing of, you know, respect your elders, or certain things should not be spoken to with elders. There's levels, there's hierarchy to respect. Because you might not feel like you can address certain things, that lack of communication, it creates barriers. And oftentimes, sometimes when people try to communicate with people become defensive, rather than trying to listen and understand from different perspectives and point of views. It could be like, oh, the elders know what's right, so that's it, like there's nothing to be discussed kind of thing. When things like misunderstandings happen, or when somebody has, you know, overstepped something you consider to be your boundary, I think that's something that should be respected. And I think it makes, you know, for better family dynamics if like lines of communication are open. I think it just makes for way better family dynamics. Ooh, this is a very big one, I find. Judgment. Wow, judgment. Judgment is a hard one, because with family, they're there for the rest of your life. So it's like they're the kind of people that could really hang something over your head, like, oh, remember the time you did this, remember the time you said that. Or they'll look at the path you're taking in life, and maybe because of their own projections and their own like opinions, they'll judge you for what you're doing. Whereas it's like everybody has a journey in life, and I think a lot of the time with good intentions, family might criticize and have opinions on something you're doing because of their own projections of fear, or their own projections of this is what is right for you. But at the same time, I think in order to have a healthy relationship, you need to let people experience things, offer guidance, offer support, offer warnings, offer, you know, that kind of stuff. But when you judge someone and condemn them and make them feel bad for their decisions, what it ends up doing is it causes dysfunction, because then they're not going to come to you, they're not going to be transparent with what they're going through, they're not going to feel like it's a safe space to make mistakes, own up to it, and ask for help, because of this thing of judgment. Oh, I wonder what they're going to think of me now, or I wonder what this person is going to say to this person. So judgment is really, you know, at first it may seem like, oh, you know, you're just offering your advice or your opinion, but it can leave a scar on someone, because there's a difference between judgment and condemning someone and actually like lovingly trying to, you know, show them the way, you know. But don't make someone feel like a dickhead about it, basically, because that's what causes further barriers. And in case you haven't noticed, I think that's a major thing that creeps up in families, you know, because as more and more dysfunction happens, as more and more, you know, rifts start to occur, barriers start to form between different people, and you start not being able to trust people, you start not being able to confide in people, fear of there could be fear of rejection, there can be fear of being labeled a different way among your family and letting people down and all these kind of things. And they all just breed barriers of defense. How can you really have a healthy, functional family unit if there's just so many barriers? And I think all of those lead into a lack of honesty and transparency. People will start lying, people will start remixing the truth just to avoid inevitable conflict, but then not knowing that that will just breed more conflict in the long run. Yeah man, it's tight, it's hella tight. And then it just breeds more arguments when all you're trying to do is bring harmony. But if you're bringing harmony without bringing honesty, without bringing transparency, then that's not real harmony, mate. That's just masking stuff, you know. What am I doing? What am I doing? I haven't done makeup in so long, guys, so this is like a monumental occasion. One thing to me that is really overlooked in family is that family is actually a relationship. You know, when people think about relationships, often it's like relationship will be the relationship with boyfriend and girlfriend, that kind of relationship. And then now I think it's starting to seep more into like relationship with friends. People are talking about that more, and also a big trend now. I say it's a trend because I don't know how true it rings for people, but like the relationship you have with yourself, so self-love, right? But one thing that's really overlooked, I think, is the sense of relationship in family. Like, family is a relationship. Yes, it's blood and it's genetic, but it's a relationship, you know. These are people that you come into contact with probably every day. In fact, let me even look up the definition of a relationship. What's a relationship?
Here is what I found.
An interpersonal relationship is a strong, deep or close association or acquaintance between two or more people that may range in duration from brief to enduring. This association may be based on inference, love, solidarity, support, regular business interactions, or some other type of social commitment. It's a commitment, you know, but then you have to ask yourself, is this commitment based on love, or is this commitment just based on genetics? When you look at it like that, it actually forces you to consider how you treat people in your family. Do you treat it like, you know, oh, they're my blood, so they'll understand this, that, and the other, and then you don't actually offer them, you know, maybe the respect that they deserve? Because that's a problem. You just think, you know, I'm committed to this person, I'm attached to this person just because of blood, but that's a relationship. So you should still be thinking like, am I loving this person how they should be loved? Am I respecting this person how they should be respected? Am I treating this person how I should treat them? Because it's a relationship. Define relationship.
Relationship means the way in which two or more people or things are connected, or the state of being connected.
How are you connected to your family members? Is it a connection of love, a connection of respect, a connection that endures all? It's deep. It's actually deep. When you change how you perceive that family bond, you know, there can be a lot of disrespect because, oh, this is my family member, they'll understand.